Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a fragrance review of a new fragrance in my collection, and it's the Armani Prive Cuir Amethyste. Now this has been around for I believe since 2005, but I've recently just got my hands on it. It has been one that has been on my wish list, maybe buy, maybe not buy, I wasn't too sure, but I decided to finally bite the bullet and pick it up. Now I wanted to talk to you about this fragrances, why I picked it up, why I liked it, but why it was kind of on my maybe buy, maybe not buy list. So I'm going to give you a pretty decent review, I think, of this beautiful little fragrance. So if you're interested to know what my thoughts are of Cuir Amethyste from Armani Prive, then keep watching. First, I'm going to start off with the notes. I'm going to read you the notes, but I'm going to let you know what I mostly pick up from it. The top notes are coriander, bergamot, and rose. The heart notes are violet, patchouli, and silver birch. And then the base notes are labdanum, French vanilla, and benzoin. Okay, so when I sampled this fragrance a few years ago, I didn't really like masculine fragrances. This isn't masculine, this is unisex, but to me this kind of is like right in the middle, mostly because it's very heavily sweet, and the violet and the rose in there kind of make it very heavily floral when you first experience, at least when I first experienced. After it warmed up a little bit on my skin when I tested it, I got a really heavy hit of like leather and suede, and at the time it really wasn't what I was going for. I was going for more bright citruses, more for fruity, flirty florals. I was way feminine in my desires for what I wanted from fragrances. So this wasn't fitting the bill yet, but it was something that I really enjoyed and I liked the way it smelled on me. So I finally decided to get it since my fragrance desires and likes have been changing. I've really been looking more for some more unisex and masculine fragrances to add to my collection. And this is one that just always kind of stuck out of my mind that I liked the way that it smelled. So I decided I would finally pick it up because I did like the way it smelled on me. It did smell really nice. It's not unique, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit, but it did smell really nice on my skin compared to the others. When I'm going to compare this to something else, I'm going to compare this to Creed's Love in Black. It kind of reminds me a little bit of this. It's got the violet and the leather, and it's very purple smelling. To me, Love in Black, although I do really like, it's a little bit more like umami scented. It's a little bit more earthy, a little bit more deep and dark, and it's gorgeous and sexy. But I kind of wanted something a little bit sweeter and more syrupy. So that's why I decided to go with this one. Now, generally overall, the notes in this kind of play around with the general run-of-the-mill, like powdery floral leather notes, which you can find in a lot of other fragrances. But what I really liked about this is the vanilla kind of takes it away from just like a stack of purses or a stack of leather squirted with perfume, and kind of just like adds a richness to it, which I really, really like. And since I like gourmands, and since I love vanilla and amber-esque smelling fragrances, this kind of made this step ahead of the game of the other ones I was interested in when I was looking to add a fragrance like this to my collection. Considering this is considered a unisex fragrance, I can definitely, with all confidence, tell you that this would be extremely sexy on a man. Really, truly, honestly, I think this would be gorgeous on a woman, on a man, but just like, I like smelling like this. This is something I wish my husband would wear. So if you're watching this, even though he doesn't, this is what I want my husband to smell like, which is another reason why I kind of got it. I figure if I wore it and I hugged him, a little bit might rub off on him. But to me, this is like if a man was to smell like something sexy and like sultry and just alluring and comforting and just rugged, but still very sophisticated, definitely Cuir Amethyste from Armani Prive. So I'll see if he likes this. He probably will hate it knowing how he feels about fragrance, but I love this. The notes that I pick up when I wear this, first and foremost, I get a blast of violets. I get violet, violet, violet. I love violet, but it immediately gets washed away with the vanilla and the birch and the patchouli, and it kind of slightly lingers there for a little bit, just for a little bit, until it gets enveloped in the syrupy leather and vanilla and patchouli, which to me is the heart of this fragrance. Now, it does stay there, which is really, really nice, but it does go away after about an hour or two, and then I'm left with like the heavy, leathery, sweet syrup that I've come to love from this fragrance. I really, really like that. I don't really pick up much rose in this, and I pick up a little bit of birch. I know that this was supposed to be created, I believe, like when people would clean their leather boots with birch. I don't quite remember the complete story around that. I'm very sorry. I'll link Armani's website below where they talk about this if you're really interested in it. But I get a little bit of birch, but I mostly get like leather and vanilla and patchouli. And then it's just got a faint reminiscent of the violet, but the violet is the first thing that I get when I apply this to my skin. The other thing I really like about this fragrance is this is another one that has fantastic longevity on my skin. I found that Armani Prive's fragrances generally last consistently the longest on me, at least 6 to 8 hours. This one lasts about 8 to 10 hours, which is really, really nice. Because it is a little bit more floral and a tiny bit brighter, a little bit, this isn't a bright fragrance at all, so I'm not saying it's bright. Just a tiny bit brighter when I first apply this. This to me is something that I will apply probably around lunchtime. It's a little bit too heavy for me for the early morning, but it wears beautifully as the brightness of the violet goes away, and then you kind of get into the heaviness of the leather and the vanilla and the patchouli at night. It is a beautiful transitionary fragrance. I think this would be perfect if you wanted to go out dancing, if you wanted to go out to dinner, if you wanted to go to a club and make a lasting impression. This is going to be a fragrance that is going to smell sexy on anyone. People are going to ask you what you're wearing. It's going to be attractive and beautiful. It's not going to compete with meals because it's one of those fragrances that it's not going to clash with any food that you're eating. Some fragrances do. It sounds kind of weird, but have you ever been to dinner and someone's wearing a really thick, heavy fragrance and it just kind of competes with your meal and all you can taste is the fragrance? This isn't one of those perfumes, although it is a very heavy perfume. This is a wonderful dinner party fragrance. So I would say this is great for date nights. This is great for dinner formal or evening formal, evening casual. If you want to go out to lunch, shopping, dancing, dates, everything. This is one of the fragrances that can pretty much do it all, except for early mornings. I would also say, since it's a little bit on the heavy side, I might wear this to a theater if you only apply one spray. It's really all you need, but I don't know how good this would be for work. Just depending on your work environment. If you work in cubicles or you work in close proximity to people, I would say maybe stay away from this. If it was a more open environment, not like a cubicle setting for work. So I would say, like, at your discretion, wear this as a work fragrance. But I do think that this would be really nice for dates and drinks and dancing and the club and just going like the theater and going out. I think this would be perfect for that. So overall, I really like this fragrance. I'm really glad I picked it up. I'm probably still going to pick up Love in Black from Creed because I do really love that one too. I want to pick up more fragrances like this. I'm trying to get more leathery and tobacco fragrances in my collection. I'm severely lacking, so if you guys have any recommendations of anything like leather and tobacco and like just like really heavy and heady and just thick and delicious, link them below. I'd love to check them out. Give me your suggestions. But this one I definitely recommend. I mean, across the board, it has not let me down in any way, but it was something at the time that I wasn't getting like too excited about, which is why I didn't purchase it a few years ago, but I am glad I have it now. And it's wonderful, and it smells amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like my fragrance videos or fragrance reviews, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this, guys. And also don't forget to subscribe because it is free, and I'm free. And I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well. So I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye!